it's been mentioned by many that Jujutsu Kaisen has just absolute excellent fighting choreography. That's one thing you can definitely give it. It just absolutely goes ham when it comes to just laying out an intense one-on-one battle. But as it were, we're back in the fight with Yuji and Choso. Yuji's is more set on the objective, and Choso's is more of a personal grudge because Yuji has to try and retrieve the box that Satoru has been sealed in because essentially, like, Satoru out of the picture is very bad for them. I think you made it this far, and how big an emphasis that is of Satoru's existence. Like, him being born pretty much just shifted the balance of the world in humanity's favor over curses and stuff, and, pretty much bad people. But, Yuji needs to do that. Choso is just like, I need to kill this guy for killing my brothers. I need to kill his ass. He needs to go. And they've been in a pretty intense fight. Choso definitely has the power advantage over Yuji, but Yuji has like the combat like experience and I'd say more. I guess just combat experience rather, because I'd say like technique, but really just more of like his movement and just like how mobile he is. But when he's like Yuji's like entirely melee combat. Like he's like a parkour martial artist. He's like a parkour brawler, I think is better way to describe him. And he's got some good techniques. Like he's got his divergent fist and he's got like the black flash. But those are also, like I said, just two close range straight punch attacks. They pack a lot of damage, but it's hard to get in when Choso's just shooting like high-speed concentrated blood spears at him and stuff. And then on top of that, you have to worry about the fact that any of his blood that gets anywhere, he can activate to like explode like shrapnel and blast Yuji. But he's got help. He's got the Mekomaru bot, like little communicator, like saying like, listen, you're gonna die probably, but I think maybe I've found a weakness to his power and something that could benefit you if you end up wanting to take it. Otherwise, you're gonna die, and GG for you pretty much. But he's like, okay, what is it? What am I doing here? He tells him to run into the bathroom where he shortly after the Mekomaru communicator baits in Choso. He tells him he's a coward like his brothers, and Choso just bites right on the bait immediately, rushes in, and from like pipes and just like really anywhere where there's water, like that would be running somewhere where it shouldn't, like any pipes, I don't imagine like the fire or the fire sprinkler. Oh my god, I'm trying to think just like the sprinkler system. I don't know how I'm blanking on that so quickly, but the sprinkler system, any water piping to like sinks and bath and toilets. I almost said bathrooms, but it's really just a big bathroom. Urinals and stuff. Any of that spraying water everywhere, which actually makes it harder for Choso to do anything. And the reason is because Choso, obviously, he uses blood manipulation techniques, and part of the way that his ability works is it temporarily is like halting blood from coagulating, which makes it so it's it's able to be manipulated easier and make it a lot more powerful for his techniques. But because of that, it gets dispersed in water easier than normal blood because that coagulation is taken out and it just becomes way more. I'm trying to say, I wanted to say spread out or dispersed, but that's pretty easy. I guess dispersed is an easy way to say it, but dissolving from water at a much faster rate. And because of that, he's not able to use like his piercing blood or his supernova or any of his attacks that are ranged. He can still manipulate the blood in his body because it's obviously not getting wet from the water around him. But that's all he's got really right now. And Yuji is like, okay, sweet. Now I have the advantage. You're on my turn. Because Yuji now, he's like, okay, I can get up to him and actually land hits now. And Choso still has his flowing red scale, which is, like an all-around, like an enhanced body technique. So he's still able to, like, fight Yuji on a, physical standpoint. But the thing that's going to be hard for him is the fact that Yuji is, like melee combat is his bread and butter. So he's going to be raring to go when it comes to this. And you got a really good spread, like the 2-page. It's like I want to say like a 2-page, but it's a spread, but it only takes up like the top maybe like a top third or like 40% of the page of just Yuji and Choso getting ready to face off, and then just going to hands. They're like just throwing punches, laying into each other. But Choso is not like they mention, like the narration like mentions that Choso isn't as an experienced fighter as Yuji. Like he doesn't have like the obviously like the level of combat like times he's at. He doesn't have the fights. He just really got the body recently. And as far as we know, he hadn't fought anybody until like the part where they were messing with Satoru and the subway system, and then now. But he's still able to come up pretty much with a plan, because he can't use his range techniques because of the shooting through the air. They're going to get doused with water. They're going to get dissolved and dispersed. But what he does instead is he keeps some blood like tightly clenched in his fist so it doesn't get wet. And then when he gets close enough, he just pretty much flings it right into Yuji. He's directly chucking that thing right up his body, or when he's doing punches. I imagine if it's like with punches and not like any form of... Actually, I think that makes sense, because I was thinking like maybe he goes up and like while he's attacking just like open palms. I think it's instead that they're in his fists, and when he's punching, he's getting the blood on Yuji and then manipulating it when it lands. Which is still really cool, actually, now that I think about it. I think that's pretty badass. But it's a weird chapter, because I think it started out pretty fast to read. Like the first few pages were pretty quick. And then once he got in the bathroom, it slowed down, just from like obviously the explanation, the art, like just seeing them get ready squaring up, and then the fighting choreography. Because you just wanted to look at stuff. You just wanted to see like everything was moving in motion. I thought that was fantastic. But fun chapter, pretty easy one, pretty calm one. We got, well, I don't want to say calm, pretty straightforward one rather. It's an intense battle between Choso and Yuji, as we've gotten recently. I think it was started 2 chapters ago, briefly 2 chapters ago. Obviously, the last chapter was pretty much just straight like their fight. And this one, I'm indifferent on what I want to how I want this outcome to go. I think Yuji's gonna win. Like, he's the main character. He's got a place he's got to be right now, and on top of that, like, he's figured out ways in order to fight Choso's abilities. But I really don't want Choso to die. I like his design, I like his powers, and I like his story so far. It's not looking good for him in the idea of like him lasting much beyond this, though, unfortunately. So we'll see. I really do love this panel, though. Just them squaring up looks badass. And he's just like, all right, buddy, we're going to be doing this my way now. But Choso's smart enough to kind of like think of a way around it. Anyway, other than that, comment below. Tell me your thoughts about this chapter. Really appreciate thumbs up the video, but from the like button and the subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But other than that, I appreciate everybody's already subscribed. And thank you all for listening. Bye.